Guys, I got a lot of questions this week about accountability partners and how they work, how to find one, what you're supposed to do when you have a potential one, what do you do with the one you have once you get one, and things like that. So, I made some quick notes of some things I wanted to go over with you guys on the best way to find and then make the most of having an accountability partner. So, an accountability partner, a success partner, a peak performance partner, a success buddy, all of these things, they're all really the same thing. They're just somebody else that helps you reach your goals while you help them reach their goals. And you might not have just one, you might have multiple accountability partners because there's going to be different areas of your life that you're going to need different types of accountability with. And you might not call them accountability partners, maybe accountability is not what you. So maybe it's just a success partner or something like that. So what I recommend doing to find one is pay attention in the different groups that you're in, whether it be Team 9 to Fire, your local coaches group, um, any of the Beachbody um, challenge, and those other groups on Facebook, um, and look for people who have what you want. They have the success that you're looking for. They have the organizational skills if you're very disorganized. Um, they seem very fun and maybe you're more reserved. Things like that. Look for someone who's going to be strong where you are weak, and you are going to be strong where they are weak. You might come together. However, don't look for someone who's so opposite from you that you won't get along. So different that you're not going to get each other's jokes, and you're not going to think the same things are fun, and you're not going to just click. And that brainstorming that might go on later is just going to fall flat. So I recommend, if you guys have done the GEMS test, to get your primary gems to be different, your secondary gems to be the same. For instance, I am a ruby sapphire, and Pirate is a ruby emerald. We come together, and the rubies we get each other, right? We get each other. And I know I realize I'm saying that this is opposite of what I just told you to do, but that's the best example I have because it's only one I've had that works that way. Uh, but Tyra can help with details or more of the critical little things, and I can be more out of your head, let's just do it, and things like that. So we can come together and get each other on one gem, but help each other on the other. Um, I have a very similar situation with, I'm accountability partners with two of the top 10 right now, and it's really helpful because they both, and then we both have something different. Um, to offset that. So we get each other, we can push each other, we understand how the other one's motivated, bring something to the table. So I would say look for somebody who's just different enough to be beneficial, but close enough that you'll relate with them. So what would I do? I would pay attention to who has what I have, and I wouldn't reach out to somebody that's so far ahead of me that it doesn't make sense because that's like more of a mentorship than a partnership. So somebody in my same space. So right now I'm a 7 star, and it wouldn't make a ton of sense. I have had partnerships with people who are 15 star and above, and it's difficult because we're not on the same level. I don't lead well enough yet to totally get them, and we don't have some of the same issues. So we're not providing a ton of value to each other. I've also had accountability partners that I have surpassed in my um, rank, experience, amount of hours I can invest, goals, etc. And that gets weird because then you're helping them, and that's just one more person who needs you. And this is something that's supposed to be a partnership, right? So I would say look for someone who is just a little bit ahead of you. If you're an emerald, it's okay to be with a diamond. Like that's totally. You guys are really. I mean, the difference in those two ranks is a few coaches. Like it's not that big, as long as you're both going the same direction. I would look for someone who's going to set a pace with you are comfortable with. If you are rarely hitting Success Club 5, doesn't make sense in my opinion for you to reach out to someone who's making success of 50 and their partner, unless they are reaching out and there's something specific you can help them with. Oftentimes, people who are going to have that high level of successful points are going to be rubies, and they might need a little interpersonal skills, right? Some emotional intelligence, because they're probably making everyone cry. So there is some partnership possibilities there, but I don't recommend that, because what's going to happen is you won't be able to see the value in yourself that you are providing to them, and it will not really be a real partnership. You'll end up doing the comparison game, and it won't be cute. Um, Also, if you are doing well, don't be tempted to just take anyone and carry them along. Because the better you're doing, the more people are going to want to partner with you. You're going to have to be selective. That just has to be part of the process. Or you're going to end up with a bunch of people who you're essentially mentoring, and no one's going to help push you and make you better. And that's really important. So when you found a few people that you think might fit that, you feel like, oh, we probably have some similar personalities, but something that's different. I feel like we're both going at the same pace. We want the same things this year and all of that. I would reach out to them personally. One of my least favorite things is when I see these blanket invitations, because to me, doing that is just like throwing up your challenge group invite instead of personally inviting. And I know everyone who's finished kickoff to coaching has experienced the difference between getting a yes from someone who's been personally invited to a free 5-day, or posting, hey, I have a free group happening next week, and the difference in the numbers that you get. Even Snow experienced that when he took kickoff to coaching, where he had been posting over the few months, hey, we're doing this thing, not getting much. And then when it came to personal invites, people were open. And I really just feel like that's respectful. And I think you're more likely going to be able to have a conversation about having a good partnership. And this is something where you can tell them why you think that you'd be a good fit for them, and then they can either be open or not open to that conversation. One of the things that my coach did teach me back when she did Shake and Shares, she said, always ask someone to bring the ice, because people feel obligated, right? And they feel important and needed versus taking care of everything yourself. And that comes to mind a lot in these kind of situations is the more personal you make it, the more one-on-one it is in any situation, that person's going to feel more valued and important. And they're more likely to show up with the ice, right? You're not going to bail if the whole group is counting on you for ice. So keep it personal. And I think the example I used on the team call was, have you ever been standing around and like someone's like, does anyone have a lighter? Because I used to smoke in high school, and no one has a lighter. But if you look someone right now and ask them for a lighter, all of a sudden everyone's got a lighter in their pocket, right? So be one-on-one about it and have a plan. Now, when you go to this person, know what you want, know what you're looking for, and then know what you bring to the table. That is really important. Know what it is that you're going to do for them. You're going to have a better, more positive, and confident interaction if you realize you are just as good as they are and have just as much to bring to the table. So write down 5 of your strongest points, and then write down 5 of your weakest, and be ready for that and have that conversation. Now, personally, I do recommend that you are clear that it's a temporary thing, that, hey, let's give it a try for a month. Let's give it a try for a quarter. And together evaluate it at the end, because what I see happen a lot is people outgrow their accountability partners and they don't want to hurt their feelings. Or they do really well and the accountability partner ends up being more negative than they thought they were. Ends up dropping out of the business or being negative about business or not hitting their goals. And the next thing you know, it's this whole situation and they're like, I don't want to be accountability partners, but like, if I post that I want a new one, that's going to hurt your feelings, whatever. So another reason to keep it private. That's life. That's business. This is your success. This is you putting food on your kids' table. This is you sending your kids to college. This is you going on those trips. This is you paying off your debt. I don't care if they might have hurt feelings for 10 minutes because they happen to not be doing a very good job. They already know they're not doing a very good job. they're not idiots. You guys, people know when someone's outgrowing them. But that unspoken tension of letting that just sit there is not going to help anyone's business. Okay, so if you put expectations on it that it's temporary from the beginning, you could honestly evaluate. You can say every month at the end of the month, we'll decide if we want to keep going. But then the expectations are set and it's not weird. Um, okay, so those are just my thoughts on how you get started. Now, if you do feel like you found somebody, don't be afraid to have more than one. I have one who really hits my ruby hard and pushes me, and then just like fires me up, like let's just answer 1,000 emails and like let's win, let's be the best at everything. And then I've got like the one that's more like this is fun, like we're friends, and I like this, and I want to set an example for you, and you're setting an example for me. It's different, so don't be afraid to have more than one. It's all good. Now, when you have them, though, be aware of what it is that you want out of each one and what you're doing with them. So that when you guys have calls or whatever, you know what it is that you're doing there. Now, for me, showing up on a call with an accountability partner with like a line by line agenda and what did you do? What did you do to hit your goal? I would never last 5 seconds in a partnership like that. That is not what I'm looking for. I don't need accountability. Have you met me? Like, I'm going to do my work. Accountability is for my fitness, yes. My food, yes. My work, no. That annoys me. I'm like, don't tell me what to do. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I didn't do my work. So that would be bad for me. But I know that already. So I can come ready to say, hey, you know what works for me? I want to open brainstorm. When I was APs with Brandy, we did every other week, one person brought their 3 biggest issues to the table, and it was your week. When Tyrick and I would just like let stuff happen, and those calls went on forever and ever and ever, and we got so much like brainstorming and ideas, and it was more like reflection, and well, have you looked at it like this? Have you looked at it like this? That was like real partnership. Um, so, and then like with me, it's more like, okay, what are your goals? What are you gonna do? Let's crush this. Like, okay, get off my phone. I have things to go conquer, right? So it just is going to depend for you. But know that and make sure that that works for them. Because if you maybe pair up and you're the kind of person where you're like, I just want to brainstorm and like, let's just feel it out. And they're like, I want to make an Excel sheet and I've got goals. That's not going to go well. Not that you can't work together, but you have to come together on what this is going to look like for you. And then the most important thing, the one thing that I have done in these partnerships is they are not negotiable. I could be like missing an arm, my house could be burning down, and I do not miss AP calls. If you miss one, that makes it okay. It's like missing Success Club once. All of a sudden, it's okay because no one died. But no, it's not okay. It's the beginning of the end. Ask anyone who's ever missed Success Club more than once in a row. So it's this huge snowball effect. And this is what happens. You have to start over. You guys know, like gaining weight back, all that stuff. You start over. This momentum is lost. So never miss an AP call. Like I do not even care what is going on. That would be my biggest priority over anything. I try not to do more than one per person per week, and I usually have more than 2 APs. So it's like 2 hours of my life. I feel like 2 hours is such a small percentage of all of the Beachbody stuff that we can do. And it's 2 hours that I'm getting invested in because and maybe it's just more important to me because I didn't have enough line, but there is nobody training me. There is nobody pushing me. There's no one asking me the question. There's no one texting me. There's no one saying, no, that's not, good enough. You're better than that. There's nobody there. So these were very, very important to me. I took them very seriously. I took them more seriously than if, I want you to take this partnership more seriously than you would take your relationship with me. Like significantly more seriously than that. Because you guys are investing in each other. Great ideas are to have book ideas, to share challenge group ideas, to talk through strategies and problems, to form ideas. Like if someone's like, I'm kind of thinking I want to do this, but I can't quite get it, just talk through that. Send each other daily accountability things. For a little while, when I was counting things, I had an Excel, a Google Doc that was shared, and I updated it, and my partner could see it. And it was like, text message, hey, your thing's not done. That's one way. So there are a lot of options available to you, but you guys need to define it together. So most important things are compatibility, setting expectations, and then making that schedule completely non-negotiable. So I hope that helps you guys a little bit. Accountability partnerships can be some of the best friendships you'll ever make, and they are integral to your business. So just like I say in my challenge groups, be the better buddy. People say, "Oh, my buddy hasn't texted me in 2 days." Really? How many times did you text them? Well, just once. I didn't want to bother them. Be the better buddy. That's your job. So in this situation, you need to be the better accountability partner. If you don't hear from them, there's no victim. There's no, oh, they did it, whatever. You go get them. And then if there is a point where you know you are chasing them, that relationship is over and move on. But don't say, oh, it didn't work out because you damn well, like, you just didn't do anything. That's on you, right? So make sure that you guys have somebody. It doesn't have to be on our team at all. It can be anyone in Beachbody. Just make sure that you are aligned with someone who's in compliance, who wants to do things right, who is understanding of people first, not products. Make sure they align with some of the things that you learned being part of the top 10 team. You guys know some things work and some things don't, right? So, and then my final note is more of a little like benchmarky thing, and you guys can ignore this if you want, but I would say don't pick the person that you just like really naturally, because chances are anything that, how do I want this? If you tend to be more negative, you will be attracted really naturally to more negative people. And if you tend to be not successful, you will be naturally more attracted to other people who are not successful. So just be careful from an attraction standpoint who you are making an active choice to align yourself with. Um, don't want any of the things that are already holding you back be magnified by someone else who has those same issues and you guys get stuck. That's one thing I really, really have a hard time. And like a lot of times I see coaches cling to each other and then one was going and this one went down and then they both fail. And so just from, the whole attraction standpoint, be careful with what you're doing. Take it seriously. You're choosing to make this person a really large part of your life. You're an average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and chances are this person will become one of those 5. Choose carefully, right? Your future depends on it. That's all I have for you guys tonight. You guys have an awesome one.